The last couple of years, the snap counts for you and Pat have been pretty high, near the top of the team. Do you feel this year like you guys have developed some more depth at safety to where you guys may get a little bit more of a break during games? And if so, how will that affect you guys?
I don't. First off, I don't feel like it'll affect us at all. But I do feel that we've developed a lot in the back end. Not much of a drop off. I personally, I feel like it's not a drop off at all with the guys that are behind us, and I have tremendous faith in those guys. So I do feel like the rep count is going to go down this year. We'll be rotating a lot, but I do have a lot of faith in those guys that are behind us, and I believe that they'll get the job done for us. Whatever we need to have done.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ryan Aber.
Delarrin, sort of a follow-up to that. How do you feel like that can help your game as far as keeping you fresher? Have there been times the last couple of years that you played those really high snap counts that you felt like you weren't as sharp as maybe you could have with less time on the field?
Right. I feel like it can help me a lot. You always want to have guys on the field, that are fresh, because they could possibly, play faster and things like that. So I just feel like it's good for everyone because not only myself but Pat, Justin Broyles, Key Lawrence, like those type of guys, everyone can stay fresh and everyone can go out there and play to their best of their ability and just make the plays they have to make.
Appreciate it, Delarrin. Have a good one.
You do the same.
Eric Bailey.
Delarrin, are you guys going through a mock game week this week?
Yeah, kind of similar. Say it again.
Are you going through a mock game week?
Oh yes, sir. Just trying to get in the flow of how practices go game week. Just coming fresh out of fall camp.
I want to ask you, when you were younger, how much did that really help you become acclimated with what to expect? And now that you're older, how much does that help you kind of let the newcomers and the younger players just know what to expect?
It just feels different coming out of training camp because you finally get to focus on opponents. Fall camp you kind of just go against the offense, work out some plays here and there, but I actually enjoy it because like I said we get to focus on opponents and it actually feels like the season is actually here because when you're in the midst of training camp it's like, man, it's a grind day in and day out, and so whenever you get into the season, things like that, practice kind of change, and just for the young guys, just constantly reminding them like you are preparing for a game. You're not coming out here to prepare to play against the offense or beat the offense, things like that. Like you're actually coming out here to prepare to play in front of 90,000, 100,000 type of people. So, just keeping them on that, kind of train of thought. It's fun. Like I said, it is fun. I enjoy it, and hopefully those guys can do the same thing.
Larry, thanks so much. You have a good week, okay?
You do the same.
Ryan Chapman.
Hey, Larry, with you and Pat being some of the more experienced guys, what have you guys kind of been targeting as far as areas to continue to improve, this year over the spring and in camp?
Right. Football, you never can overcome the game of football. So for me, with training camp and things like that, just kind of, being able to trust my technique, commit to my technique, just trying to get coaching points, because once you're in the program for so long, you kind of start to hear the same coaching points over and over and over. So, just trying to hear something new, even if I heard it, I still write it down, take notes because I could have missed it in the past and it could have been something that, could have benefited me. So, with this being my last year, I don't want to miss anything like that. So I'm just taking in all the little things and just going from there. I mean, I haven't spoke to Pat about it, but that's just speaking for myself.
Chandler Engelbrecht.
Larry, I wanted to ask you about Pat again. Obviously, this spring he had a bit of an injury that kept him off the field for most of camp. But he's a team captain. What are your expectations of him, for this season, and what can you say about his progression coming off of that?
Right. Well, first off, he handled that very well. As you guys know, he's one of the leaders of the defense. So, with him not being able to go out and compete with us in the spring, he always kept guys uplifted and kept them in high spirit. when a young guy comes off the field, if he notices, you know, that they made a mistake or anything like that, you know, he corrects them and just kind of helping them out from that standpoint. But Pat is the guy that is always going to lead us in the right direction. You know, whenever something doesn't feel right, he's going to make sure to get us all on that same page. You know, it's not going to take Coach Grinch or, you know, Isaiah Thomas, for example, to say something to the defense like Pat will step in and do that for us.
Lee Benson.
Hey, Delarrin, I'd like for you to think back to the spring, when spring practice began, and how Key Lawrence was playing because he was brand new with the team, and now compare him then to kind of what you're seeing from Key now as we're now, less than a couple weeks away from the first game.
Right. I think Key has become a lot more confident because knowing that whenever he was here in the spring, you know, he was just now learning the playbook, kind of learning the ins and outs of the defense. So I've noticed that from spring to now, I've noticed how confident he's got, you know, adding a little savviness to his game here and there. But Key is going to be a tremendous player for this defense, and he's going to be a guy that's going to help us a lot on Saturdays. And so I kind of just stay in his ear, you know, anytime he needs help or has any type of questions, you know, I always, you know, give him feedback or let him know the things that I've been through while I've been here, so he can kind of eliminate, you know, having to go through those type of problems or dealing with those issues.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
James Hale.
Delarrin, you played some great football at Oklahoma, man. And coaches brag on you, your teammates brag on you. Yet it's almost like you're not appreciated sometimes. I would stay away from the office. And yet you play some great ball, man. And I'm just curious, when you think about your game and where it's at, what do you think about how well you're playing?
You know, I kind of try to eliminate, you know, getting into that. But I can tell you this about myself. I'm going to be a guy that game in and game out, practice in and practice out, that I'm going to give it my all. You know, I'm going to go out there and do whatever the team needs me to do. You know, just being a huge benefit for the team. You know, if it goes into me having to uplift guys or giving back to my teammates, you know, I'm going to do that for the team. So, I mean, that's all I can really say, because I try to not even thinking about that, just because, like I said earlier, you can't overcome, you know, the game of football. So I try not to even think about the past, you know, just focusing on the future.
Hey, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Delarrin?